Casey Cornett. I'm headed to Australia. I leave here in about 2 hours. I leave at 1:30 on Friday and I get in about Sunday at like 6 o'clock. I'm heading to Sydney, Melbourne, Cairns, and that's it. I mean, no real reason except I've never been there before. It'll be a very similar trip in the idea that nothing's really planned. We'll pretty much just be looking for things to do and talking to the locals. I've already sent a lot of messages to people that live in Sydney and Melbourne looking for things to do, some of the local hot spots. But there's not really any big historical thing that stands out in my mind. I know the cities are, centuries and centuries old, but as far as the Colosseum or the Sistine Chapel, something like that, nothing's really standing out in my mind. So I'm kind of looking forward and kind of curious about what I'm going to actually do. I have no idea. I got on Twitter, I did some hashtags for Sydney and Melbourne, and just looking for anyone who lives in those areas that could possibly send some suggestions my way. I also got on Couchsurfing and sent, I think, 7 or 8 different requests to different people that lived in those cities, and they suggested that I get on the local site, just the complete group setting for each one of those cities, and hopefully everyone who's on those sites can give me some suggestions. I've heard some feedback, but it looks like everyone's trying to pull me in different directions, and I don't know why they're doing it, but I've responded, and hopefully we can narrow down a few different spots that are close to the areas that we'll be staying. I'm traveling with Doug Vroman. He traveled with me through Italy back in '08, and he traveled with me last summer through Northern Europe, and he visited me in Madrid when I lived in Madrid for a while. So he's a big traveler. He loves traveling and loves the way that we travel, which is kind of just off the cuff and not really much planning. But it's hard to find someone like that, and I'm glad he likes to travel. We are going to couch surf somewhat, I believe, in Cairns. Now, we already have places reserved over in Melbourne and Sydney with the idea that if other people open up their places or suggest certain hostels or local spots that we should actually stay at instead, we're definitely going to do that. It's something normal that we've done throughout all of our travels. It'll be the longest flight. The one before this that was the longest was my 10.5-hour flight from Madrid to Miami. This one's going to be about 15 hours. It's total with the flight from Oklahoma City to Cali. It's going to be roughly 25 hours, I think. I leave at 1:30 on a Friday and get in about 5:30 on Sunday, but there's a 17-hour difference thanks to that international date line. So I will be a day ahead of you the whole time. I'll make sure not to tell you what happens so you can be a little surprised as well. I get back Saturday the 20th, and coming back from Australia, you get back the same day that you left. So when you go from here to Australia, you lose 2 days, and when you come back, you arrive about 4 hours after you left.